안녕하세요. 아시아경제TV 코인인터뷰입니다. 저는 진행을 맡은 김도연입니다. 오늘 코인인터뷰를 찾아주신 게스트는요. 엘리넷의 마케팅 매니저 아만다님이십니다. 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
Hi, it is so nice to meet you.
Yeah, you as well. So nice to meet you.
So, before we begin, will you briefly introduce yourself to our viewers?
Yes, I've been in Korea for about 3.5 years, originally from Canada, and have worked in the business industry for over 5.5 years in Canada. And so we're very happy to be in Korea. I love Korea so much. Yeah.
Okay, then what is Elinet?
Okay, so Elinet is really the first of its kind. It is a mobile global telecom company.
Okay.
And what sets us apart from just your run-of-the-mill average telecom company is the fact that we use blockchain in order to service our customers.
Okay.
And that being said, we're actually able to provide our service to people all around the world. And the most exciting part is, because we're using blockchain, we're actually able to realize such a dramatic cost savings that the average telecom company cannot match.
Okay.
So we're really looking forward to pushing on those cost savings to our future customers.
Okay, then why did you start Elinet?
Well, we really just feel like yourself included and just everyone around the world, I'm sure, we're so sick and tired of forcing ourselves to lock into these really long-term contracts, and you're stuck with one carrier.
Absolutely.
Right, so even if you find a better deal with another company, you can't even switch. And, well, you can, but it's going to be very expensive and lots of paperwork.
Right.
And not only that, we're paying high fees every month. And on top of that, if we go to another country, the roaming charges are through the roof. Also, data overage charges are very expensive.
Right.
And because of all those issues, we really felt that Elinet just needed to come into this world, and people just need like a different option, a cheaper option, and a more efficient option.
Okay, then I want to know, how does Elinet work?
Okay, so Elinet is actually going to be an operating system. So it'll look and function almost like an app.
Okay.
So it's going to be very easy to use and very familiar for everyone who downloads it.
Oh, with just one fingertip, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the press of a button, you'll be able to access various networks and also a much cheaper data packages.
Okay.
So basically, when you download the operating system, you might think, oh my goodness, like, isn't this going to affect my current OS? And the fact that it will not. It just works like in the background of your existing OS. And it doesn't affect your battery. It's just working kind of smoothly together and in the background. So what you'll do is just kind of click the button like an app icon, and Elinet will be working seamlessly with your current OS system, and that will give you the availability to select a different carrier.
Then will you talk about the technology behind Elinet?
Sure, yeah. So basically, to give you a comparison, so right now, if I were to call you, what happens is my cell phone will ping to my cell phone carrier tower, and then that cell phone signal will go through the carrier's kind of centralized, complex systems. And those systems have a very variety of functions. So some of those functions include like authenticating my CTN, which is my cellular telephone number, and also things like just verifying my carrier information, etc. And basically all those processes happen in reverse. And then you receive a phone call, and success, you have our phone call.
Wow.
It only takes 2 to 3 seconds, and it's all automated. However, all those systems are extremely complex and expensive. So what we've done is we've taken all those essential functions for the mobile industry and put them all on our blockchain and distributed them. So we'll have the same exact quick, reliable, and clear phone call. However, because we are eliminating the complex, expensive systems, that's how we achieve the cost savings.
Wow.
And one other example I wanted to give you, which is another kind of big headache that we're seeing still, even though there's such technological advancements, I'm sure you've experienced it, I've definitely experienced it. Let's say I'm watching a YouTube or even on a phone call using an internet chat app with my friends.
Yeah.
If I go from like an LTE connection and then enter my house, all of a sudden the connection breaks because my phone is trying to reconnect to the Wi-Fi.
True.
Right.
Yeah.
So the really cool part about our technology is Elinet will be working in the background to give you what we call a seamless hands-off technology. So no longer will your connection break. So when you switch from Wi-Fi, LTE, 3G, whatever it may be, it'll always just be working and you're not going to see those disruptions in connections anymore.
Wow. Okay, then why do consumers need your product?
Well, I think consumers just need more choice. In so many countries, there's only a handful of corporations, like maybe most commonly 3 or 4. I know in Korea we have the big 3, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, same in Canada. And so you only have those 3 choices. And what those companies do, because they know that there's a lack of choice, they actually get together and they decide what prices to set for all the consumers to reduce the competition.
Okay.
So this really leaves us at 0 choice. So consumers need to be given a different option. We're seeing now that the mobile internet data consumption industry has actually surpassed desktop access rates.
Right.
So because of that, people need more and more data, and the companies are not really matching with new options and coming up with better solutions to the problems that exist in the industry, but the demand is getting even higher. So it's actually like a huge concern, and consumers definitely need a new option.
Okay. Then how will Elinet is going to change my everyday life?
Well, definitely with everyday life, it'll for sure change, because right now you're paying a lot more money than you need to be for data on your phone.
True.
Another really exciting thing is Elinet, because it'll be available all over the world, you're not going to need any more foreign SIM cards, and you're not going to need to worry about any more roaming charges.
Because it's an application, right?
That's right, and it'll be able to work, as I said, in every country you visit. So as we see right now, approximately last year in 2017, there was $1.3 trillion US spent on business trips alone.
Oh, for real?
And yeah, so and people just, as you know, you as well probably, your vacations in general have increased.
Yeah.
Just people are traveling more often, but it's such a headache still. When you go to a new country, it's either go to the little telephone shop in the airport and get a new SIM card, but who's carries around the little iPhone stick to pop open?
I know.
It's really just inconvenient and annoying. What if you lose your SIM card from back home?
Right.
What are you gonna do, right? It's another headache.
Yeah.
Or you get home and you have a massive bill from all the roaming charges.
Or I have to get the Wi-Fi modem.
Oh, right, the egg.
Yeah.
Yeah, the little egg, gotta pay some $300 deposit sometimes. It's just nuts. Or you rely on spotty Wi-Fi that who knows.
Yes.
So this way, with Elinet, you're just gonna be able to, if you buy 5 gigs of data in Korea, doesn't matter if you go to Japan or Spain or the US, you'll be able to still use that data. And the most actually important thing too is I think that right now, if you buy a plan that says you have 10 gigs of data a month, if you only use 8 this month, what happens to the other 2 gigs?
Disappear.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So with ours, it'll just never disappear. You'll be able to use it as much as you want until it just runs out.
Wow, it doesn't disappear?
It never disappears.
Wow, that's amazing.
So finally, you buy it, you should have full ownership, not 30 days expiry.
Okay.
It might, if you're not traveling every single day, of course it won't affect your everyday life in terms of the roaming charges, but I mean, travel has become such a huge part of our lives these days that it will be a big part of people's lives.
Wow. Okay, then I really want to know, because I'm planning to travel another country like end of this year. When is it going to launch?
It's actually going to be launching in about 18 months, so we're looking at 2020. So we want to be able to achieve global scalability with this product and service. However, as you know, it does take time, right, to set up shop in all these different countries.
Absolutely.
So at first, we want to just focus on 6 countries in 2020. So even if it's not in, let's say, your home country, even if you travel to that place, you will still be able to use our service and save yourself a bit of money on your trip.
So before, you just mentioned 6 countries will launch, right? Is Korea included?
Not on the first rollout, which is surprising because we're here, right? But at first, we're going to be looking into putting our business in Germany, Spain, the UK, the US, Japan, and Canada.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's still a lot.
Yeah, they're
and big countries.
Yeah, and most people travel there anyways, so it'll be easy to connect with our service as well.
Okay. Then wouldn't other telecom carriers come out with this service?
So basically the way that the telecom companies are set up, because they've invested so much money in the cell towers and their infrastructure, our low price points really wouldn't work as a business model for them. And they're just not able to achieve even the low costs that we can. And the main part being, even though I mentioned earlier that they're trying to reduce competition with the setting of prices, there actually still is fierce competition when it comes to marketing. So they're paying huge marketing costs to fight with each other to gain the same subscribers in the same regions.
Okay.
So yes, if they were to adopt our business model, they just wouldn't be profitable. So it doesn't make sense that they would ever adopt it.
Right.
Yeah, and they cannot match our cost savings.
Okay.
So that's for sure not an issue for us. The other thing too is, historically speaking, once the internet chat apps like Kakao or WhatsApp, once those started becoming more and more popular, what happened was it was actually really eating into the telecom companies' SMS profit models.
Okay.
However, even after all these years, the telecom companies have not come up with a kind of like a competitor app or their own app to get that profit back, because these types of things just don't fit in their corporate kind of setup. So, yeah.
Okay. Then what is the difference between Alinet and the regular chat app?
Okay, so when you use Skype or WhatsApp to make a phone call, let's say, it actually, when you click the app on your phone, it changes the complete interface.
Right.
And you're not using your own phone number, right?
No.
Yeah, you're using like a username. And when you use Alinet, you'll be able to make a phone call. However, it'll look and feel exactly the same. You just press the little phone icon on your phone, and you'll be able to make a phone call without changing the interface at all.
Okay.
Because we work in the background. Also, too, when you use these chat apps to make phone calls, what they need to make that phone call is to use really expensive internet. And that's the internet that you've paid for from your carrier.
Right.
However, if you were to use the Alinet data that you've purchased, and if you still want to use those chat apps, then you could just use it at a much cheaper cost. And lastly, when you're using them, they're really, really dependent on the internet connection. That's why a lot of times it doesn't work. Right. And it's like poor connection or poor quality, it cuts out. However, because we are connected to cell phone towers themselves, we're not gonna have any disruption in the connection of the call, and we're gonna have the clearest, best quality.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, then now I'm really curious about the cost. How much will it cost?
Well, okay, so on a global average, if you want to buy 5 gigs of data, it's going to cost you roughly $26 US.
Okay.
However, with Alinet, we'll be able to provide the same amount of data, 5 gigs, for $12.
Okay, $12. That's so then that is like more than half, right?
Yeah, it's really like a dramatic savings,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. And then on top of that, usually people might want to buy like an extra gig of data in addition to their monthly plan. So around the world, the global average for that is around $8 US. However, ours will be under $3.
Under $3.
Right.
That is so cheap.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh, that's kind of really good. That's
Yeah.
really good. Lastly, please leave your remarks to our viewers.
Well, I just want to thank you so much for watching this interview today, and we look so forward to meeting you in 2020. And finally, can't wait to provide you with the cheap data that you so deserve. And have a great day.
Okay, so thank you so much for the interview. 네, 코인 인터뷰에 응해주신 엘리넷의 아만다님 정말 고맙습니다. 저희 코인 인터뷰가 준비한 내용은 여기까지고요. 저희 코인 인터뷰는 항상 여러분에게 유익한 코인 정보를 제공해드리기 위해 노력하겠습니다. 코인 인터뷰를 시청해주신 여러분들 모두 고맙습니다.